When you go through the jellification process, you feel like you have the tools, and when you step out to exert the most confident version of yourself.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. And on the door of Big Blue, it says professional confidence booster. Before I am anything, I'm a professional confidence booster. If I don't boost the confidence of the parent along the journey, or the kid when they look in the mirror, or myself when I perform some magic that I'm like, ooh, we got that done. Somebody's gonna get boosted every single service, every single time.
I'm excited. Like I said, I ran across your page from Camille's page, and I'm just so excited. And I can't wait for the people to know more about what it is that you do. So let everybody know what city and state it is you're tuning in from.
I'm tuning in from Houston, Texas.
Yes, both of us are in Houston. And like I said, I ran across your page from Camille's page, but just tell us a little more about what it is that you do.
About what I do, before I get into that, I'm born and raised in Dayton, Ohio. So I migrated my way here about 8 years ago. Next month will be my moving month. So all great things always happen for me in March. I just correlated with that moving month. I'm a cosmetologist.
Beautiful. And one thing that I really love, I'm glad you specified that you're a cosmetologist. And what I really love about just your work and what you post on Instagram is how patient you are, how understanding you are. And it really means a lot, especially because I'm a parent. I have young kids and I know how much patience it takes to just deal with kids, but to deal with kids that have special needs and disabilities, it makes it even more special because not everybody does that. And I was going through your page, I was going through the comments, I was reading the client testimonials, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, this lady is talented, she is gifted, and you really are needed. And there's more, we need more people that care, especially when it comes to something as simple, we think it's simple, as getting your hair done.
Right.
And you are the owner of Peace&Love Studios.
Peace&Love Studios.
Yes, I love it. So let's talk about just the birth of Peace&Love Studios. How did you come up with the name Peace&Love Studios?
Before I even moved to Houston, I was already toying around with the whole peace and love phenomenon. I didn't know what my salon would be like. I didn't really know the branding around the special needs community or any of that when I came up with the name.
Mm-hmm.
But I not a lot of people know, but I've told this story. My grandmother, when I was growing up, she would always say, I just want peace in my home. I just want peace. And one day I decided to look it up. And it means not that everything is calm, but to have a sense of like serenity in the midst of chaos. So I think that is very ironic because people praise me for being patient with the kids. And I just have to tap into that inner peace because it doesn't mean my environment is going to be quiet. It doesn't mean that it will be less chaotic, but maintaining that overall peace. And I tell my clients all the time, the love comes free.
Yeah.
I throw the love in there for free. So Peace&Love Studio, that's how I pretty much came up with the name. And I never tailored away from it. That's just what I wanted to call it.
I love it.
Peace&Love shirt. You probably can't see it that well, but I'm repping my little Peace&Love shirt today.
That's right. I love it. And just looking at your videos, and I'll make sure I post all of that, you can see how it's, like you said, it's not always peace, the environment, it's, you have the noises, the kids are, like you call them, the wiggle worms are all welcome. I love it. But you're so calm in that moment. And I just really am just so glad that we connected. And when I first saw your page, I just saw how much your community is growing, or how much the people are starting to support you. When I first saw your page, you were at a couple thousand followers, and now you're at
followers before I met Camille.
now you're at 18.1K.
Point two at the last time I checked.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Like,
Camille always says, it's a God thing because I give her so much credit because of the platform that she has built as a strong mother in this community. she has so many people following her and just looking at her and knowing that things don't have to be perfect, but there are solutions out there for you. So just the fact that she put me out there as a trusted resource,
Yes.
um, it's just amazing. So I tell her all the time, thank you so much. I don't know what I would. She said, no, don't thank me. This is a God thing.
I love it. And Camille is just so loving and humble. And I remember her platform when she started off, she had a couple thousand, and now she's at such a big, large following and doing so much great things. So just her, I appreciate her. I appreciate her putting you out there because it connected us and it's connecting you and other people to you for your gifts and your talents. But let's talk about the journey a little bit.
Okay,
I was
let's go.
going through your page and you were saying how you were working for a job and you ended up quitting, not, not the good way, but you ended up quitting and you ended up going back to the job with new owners. And you heard somebody say, I knew she'll be back. And that comment stuck with you for a long time. You recently just let that go. So let's talk about that a little bit. How did that comment fuel
You know,
you?
it always stings a little bit when
Mm-hmm.
I hear it. I was working for a company and I tend to elope or just free myself from situations that don't align with my morals. So it was no 2 week notice. It was just let me grab my stuff and I'm gone and then I'll figure it out later. So at that point I was just commuting in my car and doing home visits and visits at therapist offices. But I didn't have any business structure going on. It was just getting it how I live. And then things started to pile up. And so another franchise owner was interested and they're like, whenever you're back, we can negotiate this and negotiate that. And so I was in a management position in a training position where I would still have to come in close contact with people that I worked with at the other locations. And so she told it to me, I knew you'd be back. And I don't know if she was saying it in a cynical way or in a we're glad to have you back. But the way that I took it was you wouldn't be gone for long. You would not be able to succeed without us for long,
Mm.
is how I took it. And it stuck with me for a long time. And to think that, yeah, I used them as a small crutch and I learned everything and I was diligent in that work. But to know that I'm still using the things that I've learned because I was in rooms that they thought I wasn't paying attention, but I was
Mm-hmm.
listening and trying to figure out how I could ultimately get myself to the next level and never have to return. And I'm
Yes.
so happy that I'm now at that place. I have arrived to that place.
Yes, I love it. And you said that you recently just let that go. How did you let that comment go and not affect you anymore?
Well, and I can't even honestly say it doesn't affect me, but it doesn't affect me negatively. Even when I read
Mm-hmm.
the prompts and it was like, and I seen that question, I said, oh, she did some homework because I talked about this, light years ago. So it still stings, but it's like you said, it's fuel. I look
Yeah.
at it as the best way that I can explain it. Some people will say, like, I don't have to prove anything to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not like that. I don't have to prove it to me because I already know what I'm going to accomplish.
Yes.
So when I hear different things like negative comments or things that may postpone what others may think will postpone where I'm trying to go, I do have a sense of wanting to prove it to them. So I
Mm-hmm.
wonder how they feel when they read comments just the way that you found me, because everything has circulated and you know how the internet works. So I just
Yes.
wonder, I don't even have to see your face, but to know somebody shared a video. Didn't she used to work for your company? Yes, I did. And I came,
Okay.
ultimately it was what I needed to do at that time. But watch me work now.
Look at you now, and you are doing such an amazing job. And you also posted that in 2016 you went to a seminar. It was the starting and running your own business seminar. So
Correct.
how has your vision grown from 2016 to 2022?
Well, 2016, I was still looking at brick and mortar options.
Mm.
So I didn't really know that my community would have grown the way that it did with clients who didn't fit the mold of a traditional salon.
Mm-hmm.
So I was, learning about business, financial workshops, and just things that pretty much every business needs to know to be successful. So it wasn't a waste that I started that way. But throughout my journey with HTC and realizing exactly where I was inserting myself, I wouldn't spend a lot of time in a brick and mortar. So I'm like, okay, I need to find some sort of truck or an RV. And try to make it into a salon that way. And I knew it had been done, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just so many different factors, like noise, like me having a generator. Will my kids take to me having a generator? Um, I tried to think about and keep them in mind with absolutely every detail. And it's still some tweaks and trials and errors. But from 2016 to now, to think that I own a mobile salon and I'm traveling all around Houston and surrounding areas and even getting interest from other states, the vision has grown far greater than my little heart could ever desire.
I love it. And let's talk about Big Blue since we talk about Big Blue.
Big Blue's birthday is on March the 7th. Okay. So
Yes.
look out for Big Blue. I'm gonna have cupcakes, and all my clients that I see on Big Blue's birthday are gonna celebrate with me. So you're gonna see tons of pictures that day. I'm so excited. And that was the day that I was able to show my little baby to others. It was like, when you have a baby and people come visit you at the hospital for the first time. March the 7th was the day I was able to introduce my baby to the world. World.
I love it. And let's talk about it. So when I was looking at the videos of how Big Blue was birthed and how they were, doing all the maintenance, putting all the lights, and it put me in the mind of Pimp My Ride. You remember Pimp My Ride
Yeah,
back in the day?
just like that.
Just like that. So how did you come up with the vision of how you wanted your mobile salon to look?
So this was like the pandemic had first started.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked up a box truck, the inside of a box truck. And I mean, essentially it's like a rectangle. But like Google different box trucks and other designs. So I took my little color pencils and I traced out little tiles and where I thought made sense for my cabinetry to go and where I wanted my TV and where I wanted my couch. And literally I have the photo floating around here somewhere. I'm gonna get it framed. When I find it, I'm gonna send you a picture of it so you can
Please.
see like the most unofficial blueprint to exist. So that's how I came up with it. It was all trial and error, and there's things that I would want to move and things that are not as functional as I thought they would be. But all in all, he gets the job done.
Yes. And how when the kids are about to come in Big Blue, people see you riding down the street. What's the responses that you get from people?
When I'm riding down the street, it's a lot of people recording me at red lights. Um, or if I just go to Walmart to pick something up on a lunch break, people like standing by the truck trying to figure out what it is because on the sides of the truck it does not say that it's a salon.
Mm.
On the front, and I kind of wanted to create that wow factor. I kind of wanted people to wonder what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But on the front and on the back, it says child hair care specialist. So if you catch me from the front coming or going, then you'll know that it's child hair care.
Gotcha.
So from the side, it's always funny for me to watch people's mind wonder what it is.
What's in this blue truck? Yeah. So overall, what have been some hurdles that you have had to overcome to get to where you are now?
One big one was I had my first summer in Big Blue, and my truck was not insulated, which it should have been. So running with one little AC unit in Houston, Texas in summer heat
Ooh.
put a huge halt to a lot of revenue in the summer months.
Mm-hmm.
So we were able to pretty much put a band-aid on it and get another AC in there where it's, doable for me to do haircuts. But I'll know the steps and the things to ask for. But that was a huge one. Like I'm just getting started. I'm all excited about my business flourishing. And I'm like, it's too hot to even operate in here.
Yes. Yes.
So it's just that was a huge one for me, having to halt services and not being able to help people when I wanted to help them due to something that I just didn't know.
Right.
But that was a big one. The pandemic actually worked for me better than everything. I didn't like when I wanted to go mobile, the pandemic didn't hit yet. So I didn't know that people won't want to go to places that have 10 stylists and a whole bunch of people in there waiting to get services. Even my families that don't have children that have a hard time with haircuts love the intimacy of only being one family at a time.
Wow. So the pandemic was actually a blessing for you.
Come up.
Wow, that is amazing. And I'm glad, even though, like you said, with the summer heat of Houston, I know it's horrible that you didn't quit. you know, you found a way to keep going, to push through. And that's just life in general. We have to find a way to push, to keep going through the hard times, because with your business, people literally are dependent on you, you know, because they love what you do for them. They love your personality, the love that you give. Like you said, the love is free. So they know that they're coming into such a loving environment. They were dependent on you, and you said, okay, I got to make it work. So you did. And I'm really happy that you did that. Now I want to talk about the mission, your mission. So like I said, I was going through all your pictures, reading all your comments. I was doing my homework. So you are dedicated to changing the narrative around haircuts for kids who hate it. So why is it important for Peace&Love Studios to specialize in kids with special needs?
Well, it's important because these families don't have a lot of options.
Mm-hmm.
So I could go and work in a salon and have a large clientele, but it wouldn't be really changing anyone's life.
Mm-hmm.
It'd just be making somebody feel pretty. And I don't know if you've ever seen a post that I made. Like, I have a license to make people feel pretty. But where
Mm-hmm.
do the people go who have run out of options for hair care? They're supposed to be able to go to beauticians and barbers. But if they're being turned away, they don't have many options.
Mm.
So
Yes.
for me, that's the number one. I'm a child hair care specialist first, meaning that I love all of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a hard time, you will be prioritized at PeaceLove Studios.
I love it. And that goes into my next question. So how do you make sure that you personalize and tailor each experience for each individual's needs?
So it's going to be between two things, either a first client form or a
Mm-hmm.
challenge accepted form. When I receive these forms, I like to follow up with families and just ask them a little bit about their haircut journey
Mm-hmm.
before meeting me. Where were you previously serviced? What was the experience like? Did your child tolerate a water bottle? Did they tolerate a cape? Do you think they would prefer scissors over clippers? And one thing that I really have to do as the professional is making recommendations that are best for the child. So I'll give you an example. You could come in and say, I want my son to have a tight, tailored, taper fade on the side, crisp edge up, and a hard line.
Mm-hmm.
And I might see that my client may not tolerate that. And I may not be able to build trust with him.
Mm.
So let's start out with more of a simpler style until these kids get to know me a little better. Then we can incorporate those fine, keen details that will make him look the best version of himself that you want him to look. But it's all about the process. If I'm not able to build trust with the client, it's no bueno.
And just looking at your videos, because I did a lot of looking at the videos, and that is what I saw when I looked at those videos, you building trust. One thing that I saw that you did was the monkey see monkey do. There you get, I guess the kid had some plastic scissors, and
Mm-hmm.
you would ask him, how many snips do you want to do this time? Y'all would come up with a number, he'll snip, and then you'll come in and snip. You know, and I'm
Right.
just like, wow, it's the things that you do to help the kids feel more comfortable. Or let's say some kids don't like to sit in a chair. You allow them to move around. One kid was looking out of the window. One kid was sitting on a sofa. One kid was looking at the TV. And what you did is you followed the kid and you incorporated, you know, things that made the kids feel comfortable, but you still got the job done. And
Right.
I was really, really impressed because I have small kids. I have a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. And I'm just like, I have a son. A lot of people don't even cut kids' hair. Like
Yeah.
my husband's barber doesn't cut kids' hair, you know. And to see you as a cosmetologist do these for these kids, I know it warms the family's heart. I know it warms the moms and the dad's heart. And that's why your following went from what it did to what it is now, because there's not a lot of people that do that. And it won't, look, I got chill bumps just talking about it because it means so much. You literally were following the kids while they did what they did, that built that trust with them. And I saw some videos of a kid when he first started. He didn't want you to cut his hair. He didn't want anything. But by the next videos, the continuation of the videos that you posted, he was comfortable. You had one kid, I think from Ohio, and every time he comes to Houston, he gets his hair cut by you. He didn't like to get the cape on. He didn't like any of that at first, but now he's comfortable with you, and that is so, so important. So I definitely want to just give you your flowers and tell you and encourage you to keep going, because it is so appreciated. And this is, like you said, this is only the beginning. Only the beginning. So for the families, let's talk about the parents for a little bit. How do you give those parents that reassurance that everything is going to be okay? I got your kid.
Well, one thing that I started doing when families will reach out, if they seemed apprehensive, I would tell them, reach out to me when you want to look at the journey in a positive way. I'm not rejecting you. However, the energy that you bring into the studio is what's going to transcend to the child. And ultimately, I'm the one with the scissors in my hands. I don't want that energy.
Yes.
So that's one. And I don't have to tailor back on that with that method a lot. But when I do, and then a family waits maybe 3 or 6 months and they reach out and say, I'm ready. And I said, okay, good haircut vibes only. We're gonna start where we are right now, and we're gonna create a tolerance program for what little Johnny can do and what's most safe. Because first and foremost, I gotta keep the kids safe. So those are a lot of the conversations that I have with parents when I'm trying to reassure them and walking them through. You know, I have one family particularly. She said, well, maybe I should just do like a meet and greet. You can just come over and meet them, and the next time you come and do the haircut. Well, I didn't think that was a good idea, because that would do two things. First, I'm gonna bamboozle that child into thinking that Miss Jelly is just his friend and not his hair cutter. I don't want to do that. That's not me building trust. Now, if you're okay with me coming and doing a meet and greet, but I'm showing him clippers, I'm showing him what tools I'm going to use. So it's like, I don't want to bamboozle you, and I don't want to mislead the child into thinking that this is something that it's not. They come in, they see this huge TV, they see toys, they see candy. This is a fun place. And then you bring me back in here and she's going to shave my head. So just, and every single family is tailored differently. But when I have moms or dads that come in that are nervous, I sit down with them. We don't start the service right away. I'll say, you nervous? I say, yeah, I'm pretty nervous. I said, I'm not. It's okay. So if you're nervous, I understand. It's okay, because and I apologize on behalf of anybody that treated you in a way that you didn't deserve in the salon environment. I apologize on their behalf, but you found the right place. You're in the right space. I got you.
I got chill bumps. I got the chill bumps. And one thing that you said, and I love it, you said, your baby is not a burden. Your baby is not bad. You are not an inconvenience, and you are not alone.
Yep.
That is really big, because a lot of people may feel alone because, like you said, they're not able to get the simple things of getting a haircut for their kids. And I also read that some parents, they just opted out of doing haircuts because they couldn't find anybody to, to accommodate their child, because their child doesn't like certain things. They just automatically say, oh, I can't cut your child's hair, or they increase the price because it technically made it harder for them to cut their child's hair. And I'm just like, it has to be an isolating place or isolating feeling. People weren't doing family pictures, or parents were cutting their own kids' hair. They don't have any haircutting experience. So that's why those words that you are not alone, you are not a burden, your baby is not bad, those mean a lot to those people, to your clients. I know it does. It really, really does. So first off, what is your social media handle so anybody can find you? How can they get in touch with you? Let us know.
Booking number, if you just want to call me or shoot me a text and tell me what your specific need is, shoot me a text at 832-804-0653. Instagram handle is Jelly Robinson. And if you want to follow a few journeys on Facebook, you can follow me at Pals Jellified. PALJELLIFIED is the / Pals Jellified. So hit me up if you need me. I'm here to help.
Yes, and I'll make sure I have all of that here on this video and link down below. But let's talk about what it means to be jellified. What does it mean for your clients to be jellified?
When you go through the jellification process, you feel like you have the tools, and when you step out to exert the most confident version of yourself.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. And on the door of Big Blue, it says professional confidence booster. Before I am anything, I'm a professional confidence booster. If I don't boost the confidence of the parent along the journey, or the kid when they look in the mirror, or myself when I perform some magic that I'm like, "Ooh, we got that done," somebody's gonna get boosted every single service, every single time.
I
It's just a
love it. And one thing you said, and quote me, I'm correct me if I'm not saying it right. You said a confident child makes a confident adult.
Yep, they
I
sure
love,
do. I've met so many adult clients that don't have confidence. And then I got some kids. So say the parent is sitting on the couch and I tell little Johnny, "You look good." He said, "Yeah, I do." And the mom's like, "Don't say that. Say thank you." I said, "No, yes, you do.
yes.
Yes, you do. You look good." And knowing that they have those tools when they leave me to not be shy about the fact that they feel beautiful. You don't have to be shy about the fact you're beautiful. And
Yes.
I'm not a plastic surgeon. I didn't do anything. You were already this beautiful. I just took a little bit of hair off of you.
I love it. Yes. So when those kids, you just explained to us how they feel their confidence gets up. But when everybody leaves out of Peace and Love Studios, leaves out of your chair, outside of being confident, how else do you want them to feel?
Solution seeking. I want them to feel like they found a solution.
Mm,
Whether that is a solution to dry scalp, a solution to how to get my hair trained to go this way instead of this way, a place that I can take my child because I've been turned away or treated badly, a tolerance program that we can put my kid on because he didn't do great today and he didn't take to Miss Jelly the first go round. But we have some solutions and we have a journey, we have a roadmap from this point to where we're going.
yes.
Solution.
I love it. And I know for a fact those parents leave feeling just encouraged. If not any word, just encouraged. And if you can say anything to those parents right now who have trusted you with their children, what would you tell to them?
I am 100% dedicated to not just making sure that things are different in my space, but building the awareness, not just in Texas, not just in Houston, but as far as anyone will listen, I am dedicated to finding solutions, not just for where I am located, but as far as people will listen, I am 100% dedicated to finding resources for families just like you.
I love it. And you showed that map, you posted that map and put the pins of all the, was it all the people that have connected with you, or what was the pins?
So it's two sections that I'm working on right now.
Mhm.
One is resources for other stylists in different states.
Okay.
So I've connected with a few people in maybe 10 other states that are telling me they actively service the special needs community or the disabled community. So they get a particular color pen. So then
Mm.
when somebody reaches out to me and they say, "Hey, I'm in Atlanta," then I can shout out Rita Barber. If she's willing to take on more kids, I can say, "I have a resource there. You may have to drive a little bit, but my goal is to have a pen in every state
Yeah.
first and foremost, so that when I'm getting inquiries, I can just go look at my map, and then I got a whiteboard that'll be next to it where I'll be writing down the different cities. So if
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding more people, if I find somebody in this city, then I'll be able to say which one is closer to you. Okay, well then I can reach out to this person or you can reach out to them. I'll get you guys connected and hopefully it's a good fit.
Wow, that is amazing. And one thing I also saw that you have a wheelchair ramp on your on Big Blue. And I absolutely love that because I have a cousin who's a quadriplegic, and it's oftentimes hard for her to even get in places because a lot of people don't accommodate wheelchairs. So when I saw that, I instantly got excited and I'm like, yes, she has a wheelchair ramp. So that was really exciting as well. And I'm glad that you are connecting those dots. You're being a resource, you're being a vessel to help people around the world. So your mission, Big Blue, everything that you're doing is bigger than you. It is just, it is, it's amazing. And I just want to tell you that. And then again, just tell you, give you your flowers. I know you know this, but I just want to tell you that from myself. I'm just proud of you. I'm so, so proud of you. So overall, what has been your greatest achievement so far?
I had to, because I thought about this and I'm like, I can't talk about things I haven't achieved. But Big Blue is my biggest achievement knowing that I was working for somebody for so long and then going to school on the side and then doing hair at home, at homes, like I got a salon. Like I got my own stuff,
Yes.
my own services that are helping people. That's my biggest accomplishment is being able to help as many people as I can. I can't help everybody, but I'm trying to help as many people as I can.
I love and just this whole conversation giving me chill bumps. And I'm gonna make sure that I post a picture of Big Blue so people can see Big Blue because you can tell that Big Blue was customly done, that it took time and effort. And another thing I didn't mention this, I love is how you let the kids write on the walls. So
Oh
how
yeah.
did that come about?
When I bought the truck, it was just plywood.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, do I want to paint it? Well, I didn't think about the walls. I thought about the floors, but I didn't think about the walls. So I was like, well, let's just get what I've already, paid for. Let's get that in first and then see what we can do with the walls. And
Mm-hmm.
I got a chalkboard in there thinking, the kids would take to the chalkboard. And all it took is for one kid to say, Miss Jelly, I want to draw on this. And I said, well, go for it. And then the next family came and said, oh, we can draw on the wall. So those little chalk markers that I got, they don't even see that chalkboard. They over there telling me I'm running out of room for the wall. Instead of just erasing the chalkboard and making me a new picture. Miss Jelly, you running out of room.
Okay. I love it, but it brings so much character to Big Blue, and I feel as though it makes it feel more comfortable and more homey. For the kids to be able to be connected to you even when they leave.
Right. And they come back and some kids add to other kids' stories.
Oh,
Or a kid will come in and say, I drew that last time. Oh, it's still there. I'm like, yeah, that's one of my favorites. That ain't going nowhere.
I
That
love
ain't going
it.
nowhere. So it truly connects and creates a very personal experience. It makes it just one more layer of fun and something that they don't get to do. One of my mom said, this has got to be one of the best worst ideas that you ever come up with. Because I'm invoiced if we got pictures in my house. I said, please don't draw on the walls inside. Only when you with Miss Jelly, please. You gonna
Yeah,
get me in trouble.
you got to let them know because the kids are taking home. Look, I
Right,
can Miss Jelly. I wrote on my wall too, like on your wall.
right.
I love it. So, what is a philosophy that you live on and stand by?
My number one, go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you've imagined. Henry David Thoreau.
Yes,
That's an easy one.
easy. Let's tell it to us again.
Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you've imagined. Henry David Thoreau.
And let me ask you this. Do you feel as though you've done that?
I'm actively doing that each and every day.
Yes, yes. Big Blue is a prime example. It's there.
And I get nervous. Some people think that I don't have any like anything that scares me. They're like, you're just so brave. I'm like, I get scared. It's a lot of things that scare me, but it's kind of like close your eyes and jump kind of thing. And I find myself doing that at like some point of every month almost, like crazy outlandish ideas that just so happen to work. So it's like if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I'm gonna keep closing my eyes and jumping for as long as I got to.
I love it. And that's let me tell you, that's normal. Even Simone Biles said she gets nervous every time she's about to perform. The gymnasts, singers and actors, they say they get nervous every time. So everybody gets nervous. And
Right.
something that I live by is do it scared. Do it scared.
Right.
So
Right.
I definitely agree with you. I love your philosophy. I love everything that you're doing. We're definitely going to connect for the Women Supporting Women tour that I'm doing in Houston. And I'm just glad that you are authentically being yourself and it is getting you to everything that you aspire to get to. So I want to just tell you to continue doing what you're doing. But before we leave, I just want to open up the floor to you to say whatever it is that is on your heart.
I just want to thank you. I get these flowers all the time, but for me, nobody realizes like the back end stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like outside of just the hair cutting and creating these experiences and each and every opportunity I have to talk about it, I don't take it lightly. I look at it as me being able to be a voice for someone that may not speak, or they may have told me how they felt, but it wasn't through words. But I know that they're depending on me to use these type of platforms to at least build awareness to one other person.
Mm.
So if nobody ever seen this and it was just you and I, you have helped me be the voice for someone and at least build awareness to one other person, which would be yourself.
I love it. Wow.
So just thank you. Thank you for everything. I appreciate you and I can't wait to meet.
Yes, without a doubt, we'll definitely be in touch. I'm so excited about this conversation, and we'll definitely be connected. Continue doing what you're doing. We'll definitely be in touch for the Women Supporting Women Houston tour, like I said. And y'all just remember, everybody watching this, to believe in yourself. Y'all have a good night. Thank you, Jelly.
Thank you. Peace and love.
Good night.